The Love Boat. The Love Boat. As we wrap up this Service Brewing Appreciation Week, I have to represent some kind of swashbuckling imagery for the beer we're going to talk about today. I know my co-host on Sunday Scares, Bucks McGee, will appreciate the creamsicle, as well as Brian the Beer Snob. And speaking of Brian the Beer Snob, you'll see him and a lot of other very special beer tubers in a custom theme song by the one and only Shane's Craft Beer Reviews. So check that out, check us out, and we'll check out The Love Boat together right after that theme song.
Love, exciting and new. Come aboard, we're expecting you. And love, life's sweetest reward. Let it flow, it floats back to you. Smile on a friendly shore. It's love. Welcome aboard, it's love.
Welcome in off the boat and back into the Midland studio with your host, Nutmeg 2 Palmetto. Thanks to Shane and all my beer tuber friends for their contributions to that custom theme song. This one right here, as you could tell, as you saw the can and as you could guess from the theme song, it is inspired by the popular Love Boat TV series. I almost said the decade, but I actually don't. No, it was before my time, so I actually don't know what decade it was. Was it 70s? Was it 80s? I don't know whether it came out and I wasn't a concept yet or if I was just in diapers. I'm not totally sure. Anyway, this must be something that Service does fairly regularly because it's not a huge amount of check-ins, but it's also not anything to sneeze at. 779 total, 706 unique, 646 ranked, so it's got a pretty sizable representation on Untappd. It is a pretty good ranking at 3.83, very, very solid. It is bourbon barrel aged, so the gravity is up there, 9%. I've used it fairly low, 25. I believe there's a little story on the can, which is cool. I caught a little glimpse of it, so we'll get into that in a second, but I'll give you the bio on Untappd first. Brewer's Reserve Imperial Stout, brewed with sweet cherries, cacao nibs, and aged for 4 months in bourbon barrels. An additional 42 pounds of sweet cherries and 10 pounds of cacao nibs were added to each barrel during the aging process. So those flavors should, in theory, be extremely, extremely noticeable. And I did get this in March. I've been holding it a little while. It's the end of August when I'm shooting it. You're obviously seeing it sometime in October, if you had to guess. Best by something 3123. I don't know what 31. July? It's barrel aged. How would it only have a 4-month lifespan? That's a little confusing. Bourbon barrel aged The Love Boat Chocolate Cherry Stout, crafted in Savannah, Georgia. 9%. Brewed in Canada Service. Veteran owned, veteran brewed. Oh, there's a barrel on the side that says BR on it. Right there, that little barrel signet. It says BR. I'm assuming that's just Brewer's Reserve. The Love Boat, a nickname for the USS Acadia, the first co-ed warship to hit the water in the 1990s. This Brewer's Reserve Imperial Stout is brewed with sweet cherries and cacao nibs and aged for 4 months in bourbon barrels. For the love of all things sweet, we added an additional 42 pounds of sweet cherries and 10 pounds of cacao nibs to each barrel during the aging process. Traditionally brought to you on Valentine's Day, we offer this year's Love Brew with a hint of bourbon. So I'm thinking that's definitely gonna be pretty boozy, and I'm hoping the cocoa and the cherries really come through, because both of those sound absolutely delectable. So let's not waste any more time and crack it open.
The Love Boat, right? I can't do it all by the water. I gotta pop it by the canoe. Ooh, nice, crisp, clean, cooked. Pouring out like real motor oil.
Top it off. I didn't realize, and I am using super appropriate glassware, as that is a service glass. And I'm showing you the logo, but I'll even double prove it. Boom, right there. I'm actually surprised that's bigger than 12 ounces. Not goblets, I just kind of assume are like 12 or just over 12, and I mean that's like, I mean, I'm not saying that would fit 16, but probably fairly close. Anyway, come on, there we go. And I got a little messy. Color wise, dark as the night. There's a little light coming through the very, very, very bottom of the goblet, and it does almost have a little bit of a reddish tint to it. Not classic dark brown or anything. You saw the head pour outside. It did pour pretty active, but it dissipated down to almost nothing. It is barrel aged though, so I mean I'm not expecting a head to hang around too long. That that is very, very boozy. I definitely got the chocolate. Without a doubt, the chocolate, the cocoa is very, very strong. Trying really hard to pull any cherry out. There is something light in there. It could be the cherry. It could be something fruity. There's definitely something light and fruity in there. It's not by any stretch of the imagination devoid of fruit. There's definitely something in there. It's just hard to pick out. It could have just been the age. I mean, they put a date can at the end of July on it, so I'm a month past that when we're shooting this, but that shouldn't even that shouldn't be that much. So I mean, let's see if the cherry comes through more in the flavor, shall we? Take a sip. That's intriguing. Let's talk about it. That is really, really interesting. I definitely say the cherry comes through a lot more. There's definitely some strong fruity notes in this flavor. Almost really to the point where it kind of overtakes the chocolate. The chocolate is really, really subdued on the flavor. It's more like a melted, milky type of chocolate, but it's extremely buried by this fruity kind of cutting cherry. But the cherry is really cutting anything thick about this. It drinks extremely light. The body is on the lighter side of medium. I mean, there's no way this could be a light bodied beer, but it's definitely on a lighter side for sure. And it doesn't taste, despite my first reactions to the aroma, it doesn't taste boozy at all. Like, you could tell that it's not low gravity, but is it 9? Now, maybe by the time I get down here, I might be feeling, and the booziness will come out a lot more. Oh, excuse me. That was a little baby burp for beer for breakfast, facts for snacks. But yeah, that is really, really smooth for something barrel aged. That's incredibly smooth. And I like that. I'm always usually a big fan. Yeah, I know. A big fan of the aroma and the flavor being completely different notes. Big fan of that. Because ultimately, when something, there's an appreciation to something smelling like what it sells and tasting like what it sells. But when something has multiple facets, like this one does, it's barrel aged, it's chocolate, it's cherry, it's got all these different things going into it. I very much like that. Whereas it's nice when you can get everything in one aspect, everything in the aroma, everything in the smell. I also really like when the beers are predominantly one thing on one aspect and predominantly another thing on the other aspect. And that's what this is. It's super boozy and chocolate on the aroma, super smooth and cherry on the flavor. Bravo service. Great to highlight your beers this week. Sorry for the spider grab. And if you like what I do, head on down, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so exactly when my content goes live. And if you're watching, that will be on YouTube. But if you're watching on Rumble, smash the follow button. Work that count up as well. And if you're watching on YouTube and you want to see more stouts, head down in the comments. The first one pinned has a playlist full of other stouts that I've reviewed in the past. Love Boat. Cheers, friends. I'll see you next time.